Why should black voters trust you after you have used language like that?
Well, first of all, I don't think I've ever been asked a question in such a horrible manner. First question. You don't even say, hello, how are you? Are you with ABC? Because I think they're a fake news network, a terrible network.
And just like that, Donald Trump's appearance at the National Association of Black Journalists convention went immediately off the rails, confirming predictions by critics that inviting him in the first place was a grave mistake. The debacle was effective for showing, or rather reminding people who Trump is. But from a journalistic standpoint, unclear. Joining me now is Karen Attiah, columnist for The Washington Post, and Jelani Cobb, dean of the Columbia University School of Journalism and staff writer for The New Yorker. Karen, I do want to start with you because you resigned publicly from the board that chairs this convention, and we are here in Chicago. That's why I'm in a different studio than I normally am in. And that was after the invite. Did seeing the event change your mind about whether it was the right thing to do?
Absolutely not. I mean, again, and I want to, clarify, right, a couple things. First of all, it's not that, and I've written this for years, we've probably dealt with this for years. It's not that Trump or someone like him should never be platformed or given interviews. I think for me, it was a matter of, is this going to help or harm this particular community of journalists that is convening as a source of inspiration, of respite, of, kind of safety from these attacks that we get while just doing our jobs. I just knew that we've seen 10 years of Trump steamroll through fact-checking, spew lies, and from a journalistic standpoint, how could I defend that? And so it was much more than Trump, but rather the charades, the journalistic charades of things. I couldn't do it.
Yeah, and I mean, Jelani, we step back. I mean, this is a journalistic conference. Like, the point of this is to advance journalism and advance journalism done by Black people. And, and yet a lot of the drama around the way that this came down and the way it happened. I mean, I'm hearing about people filming people in line, people being made to feel uncomfortable in the room, people who are not journalists attending and making a lot of noise, shouting and making it sound like the crowd was cheering when it was really not necessarily a crowd that was here for this event. I think there was so much around it that felt like a Trump rally that, I wonder if from your point of view, you teach journalists, you train journalists, was that forum even an interview in a real sense? 3 journalists, one of whom really did try to hold him to account, but did you see that as a useful interview of a presidential candidate?
No, I actually thought that it was a broader indictment of a set of presumptions that we have about journalism and how we carry out, our professional, protocols. So, if I were to say, there's a principle, for instance, if there's a fire, you throw water on it. And we go, okay, there's a fire, we throw water on it. And you do that long enough and you think, okay, that we're good at this. And then someone gives you new information and says, well, this is a grease fire. And you don't know what to do with that. If you follow the old protocols, you'll just make the problem worse. And that's what we've been doing, metaphorically. We've been following the old protocols in a circumstance where we have new information. That new information being that in a format like this, with a candidate like him and a person with the track record that he has, you are much more likely to create an avenue for disinformation and less likely to do the thing that we, pride ourselves on doing, which is holding people with power to account. And so the balance sheet on that is clear after a decade, of experience in seeing, him, on public forums of many different varieties. Somehow, we have not assimilated the knowledge that this is not the way that we should approach this individual.